identity, a fake identity. And the fake identity is all about being anti-Russian. And so the reason I'm worried about genocide is because you have this conception that in Russian ideology that as long as there's a Ukrainian identity, it's an existential threat to Russia because it's
Get off me!
And so that's very much like
Closing in for the shot. Please, going down!
that they were just there on the planet to destroy Aryans.
Got him in sight.
So it isn't like British colonialism in that there's no even pretense of a civilizing
Fighter destroyed. Objective completed.
a pretense. And
Target is secure. Mission complete. Going back to base.
But there's just a genocidal intent here.
When you say genocide, what comes to my mind is maybe what happened in Rwanda or what happened with the Nazis. And those images aren't necessarily the ones we're seeing today. We're seeing horrible devastation, we're seeing war and suffering. But when you use parallels like Nazism and like genocide, how do the students respond? And do they get it? Do they push back?
So there's cultural genocide. There's elimination of identities. Like
I hope that you feel the controls of the bomb are as good as on the fighter. Now, Jim, guide the plane over a target and order the crew to drop the bombs. And of course, enjoy the view.
We penned them into reserves. But we also we tried to do a mass extermination of their culture and identity. What you have here is clearly that. You clearly have cultural genocide.
Dropping bombs! Target acquired. Target out of action.
Distinct Ukrainian identity. And increasingly, we're seeing physical genocide. Look, the one statistic I saw, they said that they kidnapped 19,000 Ukrainian children and sent them to Russia to be raised by Russian families. You know, that's evocative of the indigenous boarding schools. So we know that indigenous genocide is what happened in the United States. It was a model for Hitler. It was Manifest Destiny was a model for what he wanted to do in the East. So,
dropping bombs!
Language, scholar of language, I can
bomb
tell
away!
you without any doubt at all.
Target out of action!
There's genocidal vocabulary. There's a genocidal ideology. We're seeing exactly that in the occupied territories. They call it filtration, where they torture people to see if they have Ukrainian identity, and that's why I think you can't see any.
No more fuel for them.
The Russians are speaking genocidally. The Russians are setting up institutions that are paradigms of fascist regimes and genocidal regimes. So it's not like the kind of mass instant slaughter of Rwanda out there. That's here. That's true. There are these distinctions, but we can talk about cultural genocide. We can talk about kidnapping children. There's an overlap with other genocides.
Yeah, target down.
Why is it important for Ukrainian students, or whoever's in this class, so to speak, to get this hypothesis, to internalize it, to think about it, to study it, to take it to their friends?
I got it.
What is your contribution here by injecting this thought into Ukraine at this time?
Okay, I think there's an intellectual purpose, a solidarity purpose. I think Ukraine feels alone, and I wanted to show them that there are allies in the sense that there are other people who've gone through this experience. And the second thing is to keep it.
Yeah, target down. Objective completed.
Constantly identifying themselves with Europe.
All objectives achieved. Time to go home.
Are losing allies. They're losing allies who were victims of American imperialism. They're losing allies who suffered under European great powers and the scramble for Africa that was decided on in the 1884 Berlin Conference. And so those are valuable allies. The former colonized countries in Africa, victims of U.S. imperialism in Latin America, should be on the side of Ukraine. And Ukrainians, by constantly affiliating themselves with Europe, are losing those allies.
Do they see themselves as colonized?
Very, very interesting question. So that was really the effort, because I think that there is resistance to that.
Squadron
There's
leaders,
resistance
stand by for your
because they do
orders.
identify
Destroy
themselves as
enemy
Europe.
flag.
And
Destroy
so
all enemy
when you
fighters.
talk about
Completing this mission is of major
what
tactical
Europe has
importance to
done,
the war effort.
when
Did you hear
talk
that,
about
boys?
a pretense, that Soviet brutality to Ukrainians, as well as to many different people, including to Russians, was done under a pretense. And I've been trying to urge, following a lot of the anti-colonial literature, Césaire, Fanon, to show that something similar is true of European values. And that's been hard. That's been it reminds them of Marxist
Enemy locked
critiques
on.
of liberal concepts, and it's toxic in this part of the world to compare
He's on to
everything
me.
Marx, to echo Marx. But I think that a lot of the parallels resonate with them. For example, one thing that I hadn't realized before I taught this course that would resonate with them is Fanon's description of the difference between the capital of the empire and the colonies. I hadn't known that in the past, the best intellectuals,
Got him in sight. Stand it down.
if you wrote in Russian, if you were an intellectual, you wrote in Russian. Moscow was like Paris for the French colonies. And that's something that Fanon talks about in the Tim, strongly resonating.
I have it.
Ukraine was, the real intellectual hub was Moscow. So I think it's been tough because the Korean suffering loss of justice colonized us. It's a depression. So self-conception, and first, and secondly, the sense that colonizers
That's a confirmed kill on enemy fighter.
feel inferior, and
We've got
there's a
incoming
reluctance
enemy
to accept
fighters.
that.
Get
But
ready.
there's also comfort in seeing the overlaps between what Algeria, what Kenya,
Enemy locked on.
Attack on a nation. People have a tendency to rally around the flag. We saw it here. We've seen it in so many places. And I wonder whether there is, it's not just Zelensky's vision for Ukraine, but there are probably likely more nationalist visions for Ukraine. And in a way, that's what Vladimir Putin is calling them out to be.
Please, going down.
How your students perceive that and what that conversation is inside the country.
I'm on it.
main points. There are really two battles. One is on the battlefield, and the second is to avoid being the country becoming
Please, going down.
Ukraine is. Ukraine, unlike
I've got visual on enemy fighters.
has no
I got the target.
that you find in anti-democratic, quasi-fascist extremism. You even find in its European neighbors.
Got him in sight.
But the worry is that Putin is saying Ukrainians are really like the Ukrainian nationalists who allied with the Nazis. They're like Stepan Bandera, who was a profound anti-Semite who participated in the massacre.
Enemy fighter eliminated.
And the concern is that coming out of this war, Putin will win, if he's not going to win on the battlefield, the world.
Closing in for the shot. That's a confirmed kill on enemy fighter. Objective completed. One step closer to victory.
They lose the second war, the war for their identity, the war for their soul, as it were. That would be deeply tragic. We've been talking throughout about how to avoid really bad nationalism. And so you good nationalism, you learn a lot